The way we have structured our practice is we do invest in companies post-product. So we do everything from, in a check size basis, 2 to 3 million on the low end to 10 to 15 million on the high end. We have organized ourselves into 4 or 5 main thematic areas. The first 2-3 themes are focused on the IT side of the house, so big data and analytics, security and cloud. And then the other themes are focused on driving the future of financial services. So how would lending look like in the future? How would wealth management look like, for example? We're also very focused on commerce and payments, given we are the largest issuer of credit cards in the world, as well as move most money in the world on a daily basis, something close to about $4 to $6 trillion on a daily basis. So very interested in all forms of payments that are emerging, mobile, maybe blockchain, etc. And last but not the least, it's not shocking that most of the customer interactions and engagements that we have are moving to the digital arena. And as a result, we are very focused on evolving our stack end-to-end from targeting to acquiring to underwriting to KYC to servicing, all digitally on mobile or online, and other form factors that might evolve in the future. So thematically, those are the areas that we spend most of our time around. We are most proud of the fact that super majority of our investments, more than 3/4 of our investments, have had a POC or a pilot with the Citi business, and over 60% of our companies have signed a commercial deal with Citi. Some of the very successful ones that I can point to, one example is DocuSign. It was a company that we found about a couple years back and partnered with, invested in them, and got them connected with our global consumer operations team. And about 6 months later, DocuSign became the sole provider on a global basis of all e-signature and document management solutions for Citi. And in financial services, there are a few themes that I'm very excited about and focused on, and we've made some investments in those areas, but we'll continue to look for others. One theme is the simple concept of the consumer. We have to go as a bank to the consumer in the context that the consumer is in, as opposed to the consumer coming to the bank, right? And this is playing out in a very simplistic way in the fact that people don't walk into branches anymore. But even more, it's slightly more evolved fashion. One of the investments we made is a company called Trade It. And what they do is help you execute on a trade of buying or selling stock anywhere that you are in terms of an online or a mobile presence. So let's just say you are reading about a particular news on Yahoo Finance, on how China would be doing. They can now, and Yahoo Finance as a publisher cannot make you help you with execution of trades. They can only give you information, and then you go to your TD Ameritrade, or you go to your other brokerage account and sign in, log in, and buy your shares. Now with Traded's APIs, Yahoo Finance can actually put a buy and sell button for the relevant stocks right into that news story, and you can actually press purchase, press sell, a little trading box opens up. You pick your favorite brokerage, so you don't have to open a brokerage account with Yahoo Finance. You pick your, let's say it's Fidelity, let's just say it is, it happens to be Charles Schwab, whatever it is you pick. You put your name and sort of login and password and number of shares you want, and the trade gets executed through your account. So the idea being, wherever the customer is, in the context of where the customer is, you bring the trade execution capability, the banking capability to the consumer, as opposed to expecting the consumer to come to you, which results in tremendous drop-offs, as you can imagine, right? So that's one example of a theme we are quite excited about. The other example that we've been spending a lot of time around is how do you leverage the broad bucket of machine learning and artificial intelligence technologies within the banking ecosystem. In terms of our world, there is a lot of application both on the fraud, credit decisioning, underwriting, compliance side, as well as new revenue generation and targeting of customers, etc. And we are just beginning on that journey of leveraging the next generation of machine learning to do all these sort of things. So that could be a customer service or customer experience application. that could be anti-fraud application, that could be a compliance application, etc. So we are doing a lot of work in that space, and we've already invested in a few companies and looking to do more. The third area that we're spending a lot of time around is the fact that we believe that it's not revelation to anybody that end-to-end our stacks need to be digital to support our customers digitally, and that means we have to evolve everything from how we target our customers, to how we onboard them, to how we underwrite them, how do we verify and KYC them, to how do we support them and service them afterwards digitally. Right? So the example of DocuSign, for example, you can have a pretty front end, but if everything in the back end is done on paper and physical, it really doesn't make a difference to the entire experience of the consumer. We want the end-to-end to be straight through and digital, and that requires upgrading the stack completely, and even being mobile first sometimes and not just online. So a lot of focus in that theme as well, and there are a number of such themes that we can continue to talk about, but these are some of the interesting ones that we're excited about.